are we blind also? That's what the question from the Pharisees to Jesus today. He asked him, are we blind also? And as Jesus was telling them, I came into this world that those who do not see may see. I came so those who do not see may see, and those who may see be made blind. What he's talking about? When the church put for us a man born blind, and Jesus talking about he came into the world to make the blind to see. We've got to wonder if he's talking about this eye or what kind of eye, what kind of vision, what do we see? When in the litany of the gospel, when I was saying, blessed your eyes because they see, is he talking about this eye or which eye? There is another eye that Jesus is referring to, another vision, another sight. And the question, are we blind? Need to be very careful to answer that question today. Because Jesus told the Pharisees to answer this question to them. He said, if you were blind, you would have no sin. It's no problem to be blind, because I give you sight. No problem to be blind. If you were blind, you have no sin. But now you say, we see. Therefore, your sin remains. He came into the world to give sight to the blind. Being blind is no issue for him. But to say that we see, our sins will remain. Are we blind? I tell you, I am blind. What a blind person would look like. The sight that Jesus is referring to, the eye that Jesus is referring to. Not this. We all have eyes. Church is full of people with maybe very perfect eyes, or some glasses and make it perfect. That's not the eyes or the vision that's just referring to. We are all blind. If we stand in the liturgy and we don't see the kingdom coming with power, we're blind. The church is full of angels, full of saints, it's heaven and earth together. We chant and we say, heaven and earth are full of your holy glory. So there's a mingling of glory between heaven and earth. But we don't see that. Then we're blind. When Adam was created, his two vision, we have the material eyes and they're parallel. There's another eye. He used to see the animals, the creation, the universe. He used to see these things, and he sees beyond what this material eye would see. He would see the animal given a name, and that name was so. He has the logos. He has that kind of a vision, the divine vision, to see beyond that body, that material, and he can call, you're going to be called this, because he can see the character, not just the body. Many of the people have open vision. Many of our saints or fathers who had the open vision, they can see a person, and they don't just see the person, they see their spirit, their soul, and they give them exactly what their soul would need, because they have open eyes. We are all called to have that new vision, and today, on the 6th, week of the Lent, that's the week where the church would baptize the converts. And for the people who are already Christian, that's the day to renew the baptism, where we receive that new creation, the new I, the new nature, the new man, that has all those parallel senses, the parallel ear, the parallel vision, the parallel, God is not just a healer, he's a creator. He creates a new nature, a new person inside us. That's what we receive in our baptism day. And when we have this new man, is a little man and need to be renewed and need to be fed, need to be growing. So the hierarchy of the ear and of the eye, and it becomes the master of the person is the other eye. And this eye become a subservient of the other eye. The problem that we are living right now, blind, is that the order has been flipped. If I don't see it, I don't believe it, because I don't have the other eye. The other eye is blind. If I have, let's say I have 1 hour before I sleep, I prefer to watch Netflix more than having a psalm, to have some psalms to sing. That's blindness. If I don't see God so attractive, more attractive than the entertainment of this world, this is blindness. We are blind. But no issue to be blind, because He's going to give us sight. In yesterday's Vesper, the gospel was about strive to get into the narrow gate. In order to be created, in order to have this new man, the new nature, it's a new birth. That's why we hear a lot, we have to be born again. It's a new kingdom. So in today's day, when we baptize the convert and we renew our baptism, we renew our new creation. And we believe, as Christians, that we are a new creation. We live in a different jurisdiction, in a different kingdom, the kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven has no blind people. And we live our life entering into that kingdom, being renewed. The kingdom has circles, and we get into that first door, and then there's another door, There's so rich, so deep, that we keep entering into from one door to the next, from circle to the inner circle, more inner circles, to enjoy that heavenly kingdom. And by the time we live this flesh, this eye will go to the tomb. But the other eye will continue. If I'm blind, if the other eye is blind, that's the definition of Hades. Suffocating. You have no senses, no spiritual senses to enjoy anything in the other world when we pass over to the other side. But what we received in our baptism, we received those senses, and we start growing those senses and going back to the right hierarchy of the mastery of that new nature, and having the old man shrinking until he dies. And we live by the new nature. So what we want to answer this question today, when the Pharisees are asking Jesus, are we blind also? We say, yes, we are blind. I can open the Bible and read and don't understand. I'm blind, but there is sight. I can read and can start receiving sight. Reading the Bible is not an analytical exercise. It's not reading to understand intellectually, but it's to see beyond the ink and the paper, to have an encounter with Christ himself. We know during the Lent, the church reads a lot from the book of Job. Job, at the end of his life, he says, I heard about you, but today I have seen you. Job was a judge of the land, was so noble, so good, right? And he was one of those that people came to, and he will judge with very high moral standards. But Job, after he got with that, the story of Job, and when he got into that exercise of the encounter of God, not on a moral standard level, Job started to see God. He used his eye first all his life. He thought that he is serving God. And God wanted to take Job to the right level, to say, Job, you are so good in this kingdom, but my kingdom is different. In order to enter my kingdom, it's not about those moral standards. It's not about what you do. It's about who you're united with. It's about the vision of God. Receiving that new man, and receiving that new man is not by all the rituals or by all the different standards that we can see. We receive it. Job received it. And Job, instead of being a judge of the people, he became an intercessor after this vision. God moved him to become the intercessor of the sinners. And that's what God does. He gives us sight, not moral standards. A big mistake to compare Christianity to other religions, other moral standards, and which moral standard is higher. Christianity is not a set of moral standards. Christianity is becoming in the image of God. You cannot compare that to anything else. It's the pure love of God that we become like Him. And we receive Him to see with His eyes, to have His nature, to have His heart, to have His ears, to listen to one another with His ears, to see one another with His eyes. That's the new nature. So let us all be convicted today that we are all blind. We are all blind. And we are all called to have sight. We are all called to enter into that kingdom, to live in His jurisdiction, to become one with Him, to renew our baptism day by day. And we move from that moral standard to become one with God, to become the new nature that God has created us in. To make our decisions based on what we see in our encounter with God, not with what we see with this eye. Our future, if we live with the old man, our future would be very worrisome. Right? We have an anxiety about the future. We have no control. But in the new nature, we have full confidence in where we're going. The past has a lot of baggage, a lot of wounds. But with the new nature, there's no pain. All is healed. Our current day is full of peace, full of glory, because We're part of his body, part of his nature. And this is all theory, all theoretical, until we receive that new eye, and until we every day we work with the grace of God to establish the right hierarchy. We don't live by this eye, but by the eye that we received during our baptism, in our baptism. May God give us today to renew our baptism, the new nature that we all received. We all received it. And may God give us this eye, not just Pope Kyrillos, not just all the saints, not just all the fathers that we have seen. Every one of us is called to have a new sight, a new nature, a new vision, to become holy like he is holy, to become his children, under his jurisdiction, to enter his kingdom here on this earth, in this fleshly experience. So we develop all those senses in here, and when we put down our flesh, we don't die. The body will die, but we depart to the other side full of life, full of open eyes, open ears, open senses. And if we are bound with anything with this eye, or bound with anything of this entertainment, the world of entertainment, all those different that bound us and mutilate our spiritual body, we come to the Eucharist to take. That's where the ultimate merge of spiritual and material together, because we are still living in this earth. So God put for us the divine food to eat and to receive that new nature injected, embedded in our weak nature. So we are unbound. We can receive this sight day by day. We should attend as many, 3, 4, 5, as much as we can, liturgies, to be able to change our DNA, right? Getting our spiritual, has the hierarchy established, because we are so messed up, we are so blind, that we need God's intervention to save us, to heal us, to give us that new life. Not just talking about it, not just coming to the church to stand. One funny, one of those quotes that would say, standing in a church does not make you a saint. It's more than standing in a garage doesn't make you a car, right? So it's not about coming and standing. It's about encountering Christ, receiving the new nature, renewing the new nature. And he gave us all the tools. So easy. He made it so easy, so accessible for us to live that life. The only barrier between us and this life is just our faith to receive and to let go of this world and to understand who holds our life. May God give us today to renew our baptism, to receive and continue to receive every day, to grow all our spiritual senses. To him is the glory forever. Amen.